Alright, so I'm just gonna start off and say that Black Clover Chapter 275 was fire. All puns intended. Like, you just know every time there is a dedicated chapter to Mereoleona, you know it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I'm already rating this chapter. It was a 10 out of 10. Before we even go further and talk about what happened in this chapter, it was phenomenal, and I just gotta say that I'm happy that Tabata has been doing 17 pages again. Last chapter was 17 pages. This chapter is 17 pages, so we got old Tabata back. You know, he's been giving us like 14 or 12 or sometimes 10. But it seems as though with this raid during the Spade Kingdom arc, he wants to give us more pages for the chapters, and I'm here for it. However, reading this chapter was enjoyable. I had a lot of fun. So let's not even waste any more time. Let's dive into this review. Black Clover Chapter 275, Hellfire Incarnation. So this chapter begins with a quick flashbacks of Natch's statements. He mentions that the ritual is made of a huge circle and it moves with 4 functions. One is at the center, which represents Yami and William for the advent of the Cleaf-Off tree, and you have the other 3 that surrounds the circle who are the activators of the ritual, which are the Dark Triad. And the way that the Dark Triad is set up within this circle, which is a direct reference to the actual meaning of the Dark Triad, where Zenon is on top in this panel representing psychopathy. Then you have Dante on the bottom left representing Machiavellianism. Then you have Vanica on the bottom right side who represents narcissism. So I really like how Tabata had represented that panel because we already know that these characters are based on these personality traits. Natch then explains that if they defeat the Dark Triad, they will stop them from activating the ritual and the gate to the underworld will be no more. Which is easier said than done because this is the Dark Triad, by the way. But if you overwhelm them, then there is a shot. But also you have people from the Diamond Kingdom like Morris and also the 8 Shiny Generals. Lotus, they're there as well, but I'm not too concerned about Lotus and Morris. I don't think that Morris is a fighter, and we know that Lotus, you know, he's strong, but he's not that strong. But the Diamond Kingdom soldiers, the 8 Shiny Generals, they are stated to be on the same level as Captain, so those are the ones you need to watch out for. Natch also explained to us that there is also a strategy for anti-magic to destroy the Tree of Cleaf-Off, but there is no guarantee, and I think that they're going to use Asta's anti-magic as a last resort, just in case if the Tree of Cleaf-Off actually goes underway, or is actually happening, and Asta will be the one to chop it down. Now, when the official release comes out, this panel will probably be explained a little better because the way the dialogue is set up for Natch when he explains that by destroying the Tree of Cleaf-Off, Yami and William could die in the process, but you guys won't be able to forgive them. Now, I already know that when the official release comes out, that wording and the context to it will probably change dramatically. So I believe what Natch is trying to say is that if this Tree of Cleaf-Off happens and Asta destroys it, Yami and William might die in the process, and also they were going to die once the last gate is going to open, but since their souls are connected to this tree, they need to find a better way to destroy it because anti-magic Asta might kill Yami and William by accident, and if that happens, man, that's gonna be tragic. Natch then explains that if we divide into 3 groups, we can attack them simultaneously, and you see a group consists of Yuno, Langris, and Nozel, a group of Charlotte, Rill, and Dorothy, and the last group of Jack, Fagolion, and Noct. And I gotta say, these groups are stacked, but Jack, Fagolion, and Noct, man, that's a good team. Like, that's probably the best offensive team, whereas far as Charlotte's and Dorothy and Rill's team, that's like the best support, while Nozel, Yuno, and Langris, that's the best defense team. But everybody just about on these teams can defend, attack, and support, so these teams are well-rounded, and one of them has to be a decoy just in case they run into a Dark Disciple, and that decoy makes a lot of sense once we get into the ending, but I'll talk about that once we get there. Now, this is where we get into the juicy parts of this chapter. This is where we talk about not best girl, but best woman, because this was the highlight. So, the ancient demon of the Spade Kingdom looks like he's been tanking every attack that Mereoleona has been throwing his way because the resistance army is looking at this demon like, wow, he's not moving an inch. Defeating this thing is impossible. And Mereoleona, she started thinking about a time where her magic didn't work against Zagreus' magic. She started thinking that at that time, I knew my magic was not working against that creature. Because the thing with Mereoleona, when it comes to power alone, she is a definite stage 0. Like, she's top tier when it comes to power in the series. But the thing is, she has a certain limitation because since she's not arcane, there's only so much her magic can do against devil magic. or just devils in general, because the only reason that Lumiere was able to defeat Demon Lick, well, there was a couple reasons, because Lick started holding back at the end, told him to kill me because he stopped that one blast, but also is that Lumiere tried to absorb the magic attack from Demon Lick by using a Swallowtail, one of the magic items, but it did affect his magic, which is why he was able to defeat Demon Lick, and that is why when Zaggart was so surprised that Lumiere's light magic was able to affect his magic and said his magic was affected by Otherworld because of the use of forbidden magic, absorbing it, while Lick, on the other hand, by using the highest level of forbidden magic, that changed the property of his magic as well and became arcane. But you can argue and say Lick could have been arcane even before that, because you have Demon Slayer swords. Why would you have a sword that's called a Demon Slayer if you never slayed a demon? You catch my drift? Like, come on. However, in Mereoleona's case, since she's not arcane, she has to think about another strategy. We then see Noct in the Grand Magic Zone in the volcano area where Mereoleona is always at, and she is bathing in lava. And this panel right here had everyone going nuts. Like, man, Mereoleona got that woman body going on, you know what I mean? But there's only so much I can say, because, you know, we on YouTube, so we can continue that conversation on Discord, but for now, that's enough. But Mereoleona, she's standing up, like, have no clothes on whatsoever, and Noct's like, can you put your clothes on? He's looking away. And I know for a fact, a lot of people in Noct's position, in that situation, they wouldn't have looked away, like, at all. And I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure there are people that's listening to this review right now that are like, yeah, I'm people. I wouldn't have looked away. Like, I know you're shaking your head right now, like, yeah, that's me. Anyways, Noct continues on to inform Mereoleona about everything that happened, about William and Yami and the whole Dark Triad, the whole situation. And she says that, I really don't care about the morons getting abducted. I'm more interested about the guys who abduct them. And I'm like, wow, that's very heartless. But Mereoleona, she's a warrior, so of course, she's ready to fight whenever. That's all she wants to do. And Noct lets her know that, okay, if you join, I got the best opponent for you. So that was the end of that flashback, and we see the present of what's currently happening in the story. And then we see Mereoleona, she used a fire magic spell and transform and literally becomes the embodiment of flames. Not only just flames, the resistance army, when they feel her mana, her presence, they're like, wow, this is tremendous mana. It's like she became mana itself. Her whole body is cloaked in mana. It's very similar to Yuno's Spirit Dive. The reason why is because the Grand Magic Zone that Mereoleona took everyone at is very hard to control your mana, but that is also the place where we're seeing a lot of characters learn how to use mana skin. In Yuno's case, he learned how to master the technique of mana skin being in that place, and learn how to control and access it throughout his entire body, and that is why he was able to fuse with the Wind Spirit to create this clash of mana, since they are joining mana, by refining the technique of mana skin, which created the transformation. Same thing in Noelle's case with her Valkyrie dress. So look at those forms as a Super Saiyan transformation of mana skin. And in Mereoleona's case, this is pretty much her Super Saiyan form of mana skin, but this is on a whole different level because she literally became mana itself. And we know that Mereoleona is always in that Grand Magic Zone training and made it in a whole way where flames and the mana of the flames are covering up her entire body. Like, this is some Human Torch type. That is why she's able to fly so easily now compared to what we've seen before in the past, because she is now surrounding herself with the mana within the area using a passive mana zone. We've seen Lick do it. We've seen Yami was floating before Dante dragged him down. We know Dante can fly with ease. We've seen Gaja fly with ease. It makes sense that Mereoleona can do the same thing. And she's dodging and just climbing up this demon. Like, she's dodging his attacks, and she punches this demon and made this demon fall on his back flat. And she used Mana Zone, Calatus Brachium, Purgatory Abyss, and this is where her flames become blue flames. And she defeats this demon with ease because it looked like she never got touched at all. And she said, sleep for eternity. Now, it does make me wonder, was this entire form, was it covered in blue flames? And that is why she was able to use Purgatory Flames so easily and still had enough mana after. Maybe she learned how to tap into her blue flames at will, or probably not the entire time, and maybe she able to use the blue flames when she used her Purgatory spell, and her fully cloaked mana transformation was also covered in blue flames as well. That's going to look awesome once it gets animated. The chapter then ends off where the three groups meet up with the Dark Triad. We see Noct and Jack ready to fight Dante. Yuno and Langris versus Zenon, and Charlotte and Real versus Vanica. I'm very excited for these fights, but also 3 people are missing, so that lets us know our 3 decoys are. That is Nozel, Fragolion, and Dorothy. So they're probably going to join a little later, but I'm very excited for these fights. I can't wait for next chapter, and this was a 10 out of 10. Like I said, this is an amazing chapter. I'm anticipating it, and what I'm also anticipating is you subscribing to the channel with notification bells on. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, and I'm out.